Good morning children, welcome back to the class. After a long time, we were having the practice sessions, then afterwards we were having the exams. Then last weeks I have not conducted the exam. So I have not conducted the classes. So we'll continue our lesson now. Lesson number 4, adaptation in animals. We have started no before the exams. Yes, now adaptations to habitat terrestrial animals. What is the migration and what is called hibernation? Winter sleep is called hibernation, summer sleep is called as estivation. Do you know boxes? And how do these animals having the special features to protect them from the environment and how to survive? All these things we have learned about the camel. Why does only camel lives in the desert? Why? Because it is adapted. It is having a padded feet that can walk in the sand. It is having the long eyelashes to protect it from the sand during the sandstorm, and it can store water for many days, and they are having long hair on the body to prevent the loss of water. So in this way they are having very special features to adapt themselves. So all about this we have learned. Now we are going to learn about the aquatic animals. Animals that live in water are called aquatic animals. What are the features that help them to survive in water? We are going to see now. Let us know about some of them. Here are some water animals. Fish, crab, snail, duck, whale, dolphin. Page number 207. So these are called as the aquatic animals. Fish lives in the water. Crab, snail, duck, whale and dolphin. So these live in the water and these are called as the aquatic animals. Now fish has fins to help it swim. So how does a fish live in the water? Because it is having fins that help them to swim in the water. And the turtles, seals and dolphins have flippers that help them to swim in the water. Fish are having fins to swim and the turtles, seals and dolphins are having flippers. How do we swim? We swim with the help of the legs and hands. In the same way, these are having the different parts called as the flippers, and with the help of the flippers they will swim in the water. And a duck has webbed feet to help it in paddle in water. The feet is like a webbed which help them to paddle in water. Next, a fish breathes with the help of the gills. Then how do the fish breathe oxygen in the water? It is having the gills. So with the help of the gills it is able to breathe. Animals like whales and dolphins breathe through lungs. So animals like whales and dolphins are having lungs like us. Manakella lungs unnayo? In the same way, whales and dolphins are having lungs. With the help of the lungs, they breathe the oxygen. They cannot breathe inside water. So whales and the dolphins cannot breathe air inside the water. So what they'll do? They'll come up. So they have to come to the surface of the water very often to breathe air. So did you observe any time in the movies or in the National Geographic channel, what does a fish, dolphin, whale, everyone, they'll come to the surface of the water for every few minutes. They'll breathe the air, they'll go and they'll swim and they'll do their work in the water. Then after some time again they'll come up. So every time they'll come up and they'll go, no? Why? Because to take in oxygen. So this is about the fish, whales, dolphins, seals, turtles. How do they breathe air and what does they have to swim? Some are having fins, some are having flippers and some are having webbed feet and some are having lungs and some are having gills. So respiratory organs are different and to swim they are having the different parts. This is about the aquatic animals. Right children, I think you have understood. The animals that live in the water are called aquatic animals, and especially the fish is having the fins to swim and they cannot stay out of the water. They live only inside the water. Now about the amphibians. Animals that can live both on land and in water are called amphibians. The animals that live inside the water as well as out of the water on the land are called as amphibians. Frogs, toads and salamanders are some amphibians. So example for the amphibians are frogs, toads and salamanders. These are called as the amphibians. Frog can live both in water and on the land. So it is called as an amphibian. Next, The frog adapt to the conditions on land and in water. You can see the picture here, frog and the salamander. A frog breathes with the help of the lungs when it is on the land. So when it is living on the land, it is breathing air with the help of its lungs. And it breathes through its skin when it is in water. Then the frog, when it is living inside the water, it is breathing through its skin. When it comes out of the water on the land, it breathes through the lungs. It has webbed feet to help it in swim in water. And one more special feature it is having the webbed feet. Webbed feet in the sense, it will be like this. That means it's like a web here. So with the help of this, the frog will paddle in the water. So it is having lungs and the moist skin and the webbed. These many special features are there for the frog. Now this is about the amphibians. Next, arboreal animals. Animals that live mostly on trees are called arboreal animals. So some animals are living inside the water, some animals are living on the land, and some animals will live on the trees. So the animals that live mostly on the trees are called arboreal animals. Example, monkeys. Everyone will say first monkeys, no? Lizards and chameleons are some arboreal animals. Usaravelli. Okay, this is called as Usaravelli. It will change its color, no? So these, they are mostly live on the trees. Their bodies are suited to live on trees. Monkeys have long and strong limbs with sharp claws which help them to climb trees. Sharp claws to hold the plant and to climb up the trees. They also have long tails that help them to hold on to the branches. With the help of the long tails, it will hold the branches. In this way, the body is suited to live on the trees. Chameleons change their color to blend with their surroundings. So do you know the speciality of this? When it leaves, when it's staying in the grass, it will change its body into the grass color. And when it is on the trunk, it will change its color into the trunk color. So this type of very special feature it is having. It will change its color. The speciality of this animal is that it is able to change its color every time. Okay, we have learned about aquatic animals, amphibians and arboreal animals. So these are the very important points, children. You have to note down in the fill in the blanks, in the question answers, in the short answers, and every time they will be asking you. Okay, next, aerial animals. Animals that fly and spend a lot of their time in the air are called aerial animals. We have learned that some animals live in the water, on the land, and some on the trees. Now, that mostly spend their time in roaming in the air. That means flying in the air. These are called aerial animals. What are the features that help birds to fly? So, what are the aerial animals? Birds. Mostly only we can see the birds flying in the air, no? So, what are the features that help birds to fly? Aim help chesne birds to fly avvadaniki. They have wings which help them to fly in the air. The boat-shaped body helps them to cut through the air easily. When forcefully the air comes opposite side, the body is like boat shape, then it can divert itself. The bones are hollow, so their body is light. So, the bones of these birds are very light in weight. That means they don't have any weight. Now see, if you throw a stone in the air, what happens? It will fall down. Why? Because stone is having weight. If you throw a paper in the air, it will keep on flying. The kite is made up of paper, it will keep on flying in the air because it is having light weight. In the same way, bird's body is also having light weight. The body of a bird is covered with feathers. Body anta deto cover ayipoyi untundi birds ki feathers. Eekalu. The feathers also help them to fly. So what does this feathers? If you take out only one feather and if you just leave it in the air, what happens? The feather will be keep on flying. So these feathers, the special feature is that these feathers and the boat-shaped body and the hollow bone, lightweight, all these will help the birds to fly high in the air. Most birds except the flightless birds are aerial animals. So the birds that fly in the air are called as aerial animals. Bats and some insects also belongs to this group. Bats and some insects also comes under this aerial animals. You can see a sparrow, crow, bat, mosquito, eagle, housefly, butterfly, parrot. So these are the aerial animals that fly in the air. Did you know bats are not birds? They are mammals. This is called as a bat. Gabbilam. So these are not birds. Actually they are mammals. Why? Because they give birth to young ones. Now adaptations for food. An animal may eat plants or animals or even both. Yes, an animal may eat the plants or the animals or the both. Based on their food habits, they are divided into 4 groups. Example, we'll take the dog. What does the dog eat? It will eat the bread, biscuits, and if you keep the rice also, it will eat, right? At the same time, if you give chicken, hen or anything to the dog, it will eat. That means both it is eating. So according to the food habit, it is divided into 4 groups: herbivores, carnivores, and omnivores, and one more is called as scavenger. Okay, the first one is, it is divided into only 3 groups. Herbivores. Animals that eat plants are called herbivores. ఏ animals అయితే చెట్లను మాత్రమే తింటాయో అవి herbivores. Example, cows, goats, elephants, and giraffe is also herbivore. Here the cow, goat, elephant, deer, example they have given. They have sharp teeth for biting the food. Biting means kurakadam. They are having very sharp teeth for this purpose. And broad flat teeth for grinding the food. Grinding means if you put something in the mixie, what happens? It will make it to paste. That is called as grinding. And it is having the broad flat teeth. Vedalpuga unde teeth. So what happens? Because of that, it will mix and it will make into a paste. That is called grinding. This is because herbivores need to chew a lot before they swallow the. Herbivores, what they'll do? They will chew the food very well before swallowing. Minge mundu baga namilitharu. Now about the carnivores. Animals that eat the flesh of other animals are called carnivores. Vere animals oka flesh ni, మాంసం ని తినే వాటిని carnivores అంటారు. Example, lion, tiger and snakes are the example of carnivores. See here, they are eating the flesh of other animals. No, you can look at the picture. They have a very sharp teeth which help them to tear the flesh, మాంసం. ఒక animal ని చంపి ఆ flesh ని తీసేయడానికి వాటికి sharp teeth ఉంటుంది. Now about the omnivores. Animals that eat both plants and animals are called as omnivorous. Bears and crows are some omnivores. Human beings are also omnivorous. మనం కూడా omnivorous. Why? We'll eat the all types of vegetables that we get from the plants. We'll eat the chicken, mutton, fish, prawns. No, so we are eating both plants and animals. Then we are called as omnivores. So we have learned about the herbivores, carnivores and omnivores. And these have teeth that are suited to all the kinds of teeth. So our teeth are designed in such a way that we can eat both plants and animals. Now example, bear and crow also called as omnivores. So this is all for today, children. Remaining lesson will be continued tomorrow. And yesterday you have written the hard words now up to amphibians. Remaining you have to write the keywords like aerobial animals, aerial animals, herbivores, carnivores, omnivores, scavengers, parasites, complex, endangered animals. So remaining keywords you have to write today one time neatly and you have to learn by today itself. ఏ రోజు ఆ రోజే చదువుకోండి, ఎగ్జామ్కి మీకు హెల్ప్ అవుతుంది. తర్వాత చదువుదాన్ని పోస్ట్పోన్ చేయకూడదు. Is it clear, children? So if you have not understood anything, once again go through the class and read the textbook once and twice. Then it will be clear to you. And every time I will be telling you that you have to read the textbook. Why? Because if you read once and twice and when you listen the video, it will be better understand. You will understand it very clearly. And this is your homework. Remaining keywords you have to write one time. Thank you, children.